just start going.
Okay.
So, hey guys, so we're all here. We did it. We made it happen. We've got.
We're here.
Yeah. I just want to point out real before we begin and get everyone to introduce themselves. So point out from the 5K.
Of course.
Absolutely.
What else would you wear?
Yes, this is, I should call my apartment the Unicorner. This by the bookshelf.
Wow.
Oh,
man, that's great.
So why don't we go around and just say hey and let everyone know who we are. So we have Nate's on my screen right now. I'm not sure if he's on your screen too. But Nate, tell us who you are.
Yeah. So my name is Nathan Armstrong. And so I am a musical director here at a local church in Newport Beach, California. And so I love music. I love just doing all kinds of things, anything to do with coffee. You'll see me drinking coffee quite frequently. Mm-hmm. And I love to run. So that is, in a nutshell, that's me. I'm sure we'll get more into it. But.
Yes. But also one more thing. What are you training for currently, Nate?
Currently, I'm training for a marathon in August with some guy named Greg.
Yeah.
And it's going to be amazing. I'm excited. It's called the Tunnel Marathon. It is in Washington. And I've heard it has a slight downhill, so we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
So I'm looking to, run really fast. I'm excited for sure.
I like it. And we should also point out that we're all Ragnar teammates, which is how we know each other in the broadest sense of it. Frank, who are you?
I'm Frank. Like you just said, yeah. Out in New Hampshire, so it's about 6:30 for me. I'm Ragnar teammates with you guys at the moment. Also, I guess a lot has changed over the past decade of my life, but personal trainer, currently embroiled in the triathlon scene right now, so training a ton, and but also have lots of other hobbies as well. Yeah, I don't know. I guess.
What are you training for right now?
What was that?
What are you training for right now?
Got a few Olympic distance races coming up. I'm going to be doing age group nationals in August. That's in Cleveland. And I've got race in Philadelphia I do most years at the end of June. So those are the two I'm really looking forward to right now. Should be fun.
Are the nationals a qualifying situation?
Yeah, so for that you do have to qualify, and I'm not sure I think it's top 10% in certain races you have to finish in or something like that. I'm not too sure of the criteria. They just sent me an email, so I get to send them a boatload of money, drive out to Cleveland and race there. So that's good.
What's the usual triathlon? And we'll get to Ryan in 1 second. What's the usual triathlon race fee?
So the distance makes a difference, and who you go through makes a difference. I've only done one WTC race, so that's the people who own Ironman and Ironman 70.3, and that was I don't know, it was a 70.3, and that was $200 something, somewhere in
not crazy.
Those prices are anywhere from sprints can be 80 something to I did a grassroots race last year, Sea to Summit, which was crazy, but it was really bare bones, and you had a crew. There were no aid stations, and it was $400 to register for. But
that wasn't terrible.
Not crazy. I'm sure I hear stories of just people going to Kona, and it's a ton to register, a ton to fly out there, a ton to stay there, and it's I don't know, remortgaging your house to go race in Hawaii.
All right then.
I don't know if I experienced though, so I don't know.
Oh no, that's actually that's what I thought. And we have Ryan in the last little box on my screen. Ryan, how are you, friend?
I'm good. Nice to see you all again.
Yeah, this is great. And you're in Utah right now.
I'm in Utah.
Are you St. George? Where are you exactly in Utah?
Nope, I'm in Salt Lake, basically, just north of Salt Lake. St. George would be nice. It's a little warmer.
Okay. Is it?
Are
you higher up?
60 degrees today.
That's nice.
Pretty hot.
Yeah, it's hot. Yeah, it was 70 here today, and I was grumbling to myself on the run this morning. You perhaps. Sorry, what was that?
It's so cold when it's 70.
Well, I think you of everyone, you probably have the most things you're training for? Because you do cyclocross, triathlon,
Yep.
and
Yep.
also now Olympic weightlifting. So
Yep.
what's the next thing you have on your plate as far as events or racing goes?
So I have a half marathon next Saturday. I guess this coming Saturday.
Right. Where's that?
Just here in Salt Lake.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun half marathon through the city. So
Oh, cool. Is it like the official like Salt Lake City Marathon?
yes.
That's cool. Awesome.
Yep.
Do you have a goal for it? A goal in mind?
I kind of do. I try to keep I don't
Loose
like
goal.
time goals, but I want to do better than last year, and I want to push hard.
What was last year's time?
1:30 and 10 seconds.
So sub
Yeah.
130 basically.
Yeah, I gotta make that 10 seconds happen.
Yeah. I believe in you, Ryan. And so there's that coming up, and then when's the next Olympic lifting event?
The next one I know I'm going to do is July 14th. Just found out about it, which is after the first 70.3, which is June 24th in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
And how does that work? Oh, in Idaho. So you're traveling for it now.
Yep. Yeah, I'll drive up there.
Now you're in it. Now you're really in it, and you're in the scene now.
Yep.
Now you're traveling to races and events.
Yep.
Wow.
Of course.
And what is that like? So you get there for a lifting event, and like it's what, like 2 different lifts? Like what is it? The snatch?
Yep. You have the snatch and then the clean and jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All the jokes.
And then you like wait your turn for like, so like I assume there's like 2 categories, right? There's the 2 lifts, and then like there's 10 people say, and they all go through it, and they each get 3 attempts at the lift.
Sort of. So everybody starts with the snatch, and they go by the weight category you're in. Typically, it's kind of interesting. Everybody competes at the same time, but everybody has different weight categories, and they start with the lightest weight that you like. Whoever lifts the lightest weight goes first, and then they just increase the weight as you go up.
So would that
kind of confusing?
So would that then like mean that people in different weight classes are going at the same time?
Yes.
And how do they know how much you're going to lift? Like you don't know until
you have to sign up with an opening weight.
Oh, wow.
So I say my first lift is going to be a certain kilograms, and then that's where they seed me.
I see.
And then I have the option to move up, but you can't move down.
I see.
So whatever you write down, you have to lift at least that much.
Uh-huh.
And then what was that?
Or try to.
Yes, you have to try to. So you were right. Everybody gets 3 attempts at the snatch. If you do not make one, you technically could still do the clean and jerk, but you won't qualify for the meet total. So you could still do a clean and jerk lift and maybe, PR or whatever, but you won't get a total score. So you have to make at least one of those lifts, but you only get 3 chances.
Right. Wow. And so are there any other triathlete people that you have ever seen doing this?
Not that I know of. I know there's one guy that is also a runner. I know he's a Boston qualifier as well, but he's a college kid, so he can do,
wow,
do whatever they want.
Crazy. Yeah, I know. That's amazing. Wow.
Young ones
I
like
think
Frank.
of all the, sorry, yeah, right, exactly, like Frank. I think of all the mistakes that I made when I first started training for marathon distance races, and I'm like, oh man, if I had known about math when I was like 24,
yeah,
I could have spent my 20s running sub 3 instead of like the cycle of like running too hard, getting injured a bunch, not knowing anything about like, if I could have my brain of like what I have learned in the past, like, well, really decade of running, like as far as like movement and functional strength work, I feel like, and I could have just put it in a 24-year-old's mind. Now, granted, like would I've had the same like adherence at 24? Probably not, that I have at 34, where like my life's oriented around like functional movement and like training for this stuff. But yeah, it's always fascinating to think, oh man, if I had known this back then, what would I have done? Could have been amazing.
That probably would have been good, yeah.
Yeah, I know. So we'll go around and what were your guys, your training things today? How did you train today? Ryan, why don't you start? You're on my screen, Ryan, so you can go.
I can go first. I had a kind of a race pace interval session, ended up about 9 miles, did Nice big warm up, and then 2 by 10 minutes at race pace, and then a easy swim.
Oh wow! And is there a pool like near where you live? You can just like jog to the pool basically and do that.
Yeah, I could jog to the pool. It's about 3 miles away, but today.
Gotcha. How about you, Nate? I see you nodding along.
Yeah. Well, today I didn't train too much. I woke up, made some coffee, and I sang a lot. So.
Oh right, yeah,
that was my training.
That's
but yesterday I went to a place called Back Bay, which is nearby in Newport Beach, and it connects to the ocean, and so it's a 10-mile loop. And so I ended up actually meeting a friend that did Ragnar on a different team. We were going to meet up. I said, hey, let's do Back Bay. Last minute, he pulled out, wasn't feeling too good. So I met another friend. We walked for a little bit. Ended up being like a 5-mile walk. So I made that a long warm up.
Nice,
then I ended up just, after she left, I did a 10-mile run. So
wow.
So I went around Back Bay. It was super fun.
That's great.
Starting to warm up though, so it's heating up.
Yeah, it is. I know. I'm trying to get my runs done. Like I'm trying to get out the door by 7 most days for the running, and like even then, like today I started at 8 because my friend down the street just I don't know I feel like 7 would have been too early for him as a suggestion. So we began at 8. It wasn't bad, but it was definitely like warm. I was like, oh yeah, this is unpleasant to an extent.
Definitely.
Where are you right now? Are you in your office? Or
there's a room in an office I'm at. Yeah, I haven't left it.
Oh, it's very stylish. Are those like soundproofing things in the wall?
Pretty much, yeah. This is a front room. We have older kids, kind of, I'd say middle school age in here. So we put some things on the wall.
Very stylish. It's like a little like succulent plant in the back and a very stylish pot.
Little succulent over there.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's nice. How long are your services? Your church services?
About an hour 15. So usually I'll get here at 8, do a rehearsal, and run through all the songs, get everything going, and then we start at 10. And so end around 11:15, 11:20, and then I'm here. I usually upload the podcast, get everything like an email sent for the next day.
What podcast?
So just the message from the church service.
You podcast your church services? Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
That's really cool.
So I get that all set up. So I'm here for a little bit. I'm done now. So just wanted to just stay here, make sure I have internet and coffee, and
that's great.
Then I'm heading home.
Well, I don't mean to embarrass you, but like you've never really posted any of you. I think one time you posted like your singing, and you're a very good singer.
Oh, thank you.
Like I mean, it's not even my opinion; it's objectively true. Like you're very, very good at singing. It was like because you're kind of a quieter, like laid back guy in real life, but when you sing, it's like this very like soul kind of singing.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I was just talking to someone earlier today about just personalities in general, and how I feel like a lot of people, I'm an adaptable personality. So depending on who I'm around, if I'm around someone like you or someone like Lucho, I tend to mellow out. So I'm really quiet around people like that. But
loud people.
I grew up performing. So I actually have a side of me that you put me in front of people or you put me on a stage and I just turn on. And so it's interesting. I think until you get to know me a little bit, I kind of come across as shy a little bit, but then when I'm in a certain environment, I'm completely different. I DJ weddings, I MC things. And so it's definitely, I kind of have these two sides of me that are contrasting a little bit, but
my hero, Bruce Springsteen, I'll like watch him in interviews, like even back like from like the 70s or, or today for that matter. And he's like super like, really quiet and like very thoughtful, but like not at all. And then you see him on stage and he's like running around an arena, like going crazy, sweating, which probably like, you can't be like, that's like kind of like the race performance is that, and then you keep your life at MAF the rest of the time. You know?
That's right.
Like you have like you're above MAF today singing. Do you ever wear your heart monitor while you're singing on stage?
You know, I've never looked at it. I wear my watch. I have a Garmin on all the time, so I should check it while I'm singing.
If you go back, I think if you scroll through the windows, I think it'll show you like your heart rate throughout the day.
Looks like I only got to about 94, 96.
Okay.
So I'm not getting crazy.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, I mean, not that I have to mention it, because I've mentioned to you guys probably like 10 times today already, but tomorrow, Boston Marathon.
Tomorrow.
That's pretty exciting. Yeah. Frank, are you going to go down there and watch it? Are you stationed in New Hampshire tomorrow?
I'm not gonna go down. Like every year, my running group, I still haven't made it down with them. They have a bus that they
Oh
just
wow.
like charter, and everyone just goes down. Half of them get drunk on the way down. Um, but yeah, I'm not gonna go. We had some freezing rain this morning, and the weather for Boston, that would be fun to talk about. So, what do you think? Like, what do you think's gonna happen? Let's say just in the pro fields, just with the predicted weather.
Yeah. So
That's
what the weather's? Is it snow tomorrow or just rain? What's
I
the
think it's going to
prediction?
be rain, but they're saying like 25-mile-an-hour headwinds,
Oh wow. So pretty
and it's
grim.
going to be cold. Like it'll warm up as the day goes on, but it'll be like low 40s, I think, something
Oh
like
wow.
that, with rain and headwinds.
Wow. That's pretty grim.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I've only raced one race in my entire life that was raining. It was the 2011 LA Marathon. It was like, just like a true downpour. And people had like hypothermia and stuff at it. I mean, granted, the one that if you have hypothermia, like, and you're running, you're probably not running very fast.
Yep.
I guess, like, you're like, oh, this is how I'm freezing. It's like, you should probably run faster then. Or don't do this
Well, it
race.
depends on how cold it is.
Yeah, no, it was like in the 40s. It wasn't like it was
Okay.
LA. It wasn't like it was like 18 degrees. Yeah, it was like I felt fine. I ran like a pedestrian time that year. I forget what it was, but like it wasn't anything special, and I was fine. So I feel like you're like running 4-hour marathons in the cold. Maybe you get messed up. I don't know. I'd be curious. Like, I wonder, like, does that really affect like a Kenyan coming here and it's just like freezing, or is it cold in like at elevation where like in Ethiopia or Kenya? I assume it's probably cold in the morning, right?
Nathan, you might.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
you know.
I mean, yeah, I've been to Kenya a couple times. So it's very similar to California, actually, but it's where you're closer to the equator, so it's almost like you feel the sun. But
Right.
it's usually pretty warm. So I have a Kenyan friend that lives here, and he's always cold. He's
Oh,
like,
wow.
"Oh, it's so cold here."
Interesting.
So yeah, so it's usually warm. So the only thing I would think of is how they're training. You know, a lot of Kenyans come here to train or different places around the world. So I don't know, but it's definitely warm over there. So that's where I'm wondering this year, the field is so stacked. There's so many
Yeah.
good American women, and I'm so
Yeah.
excited for this year, but it's
It's gonna
crazy
be
with
crazy.
the weather. It's like, what are they going to do? How are they going to pull this off? So yeah, it'll be interesting for sure.
I mean, I wonder if like the rain must make things challenging because you're just sopping wet. But I imagine like Shalane Flanagan and all the Americans like who train, like Des Linden lives in like Michigan, and like I'm sure half the year is just frozen tundra. Shalane goes to Flagstaff every year for some period of time. That's got to be really cold. And then
You got Jordan. She's training in Portland. Yeah.
I think she lives in California. I think she lives in, sorry?
She's been training here in Park City too. So,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you guys follow the whole? I mean, there's also Molly Huddle, I guess, too, who lives out in Rhode Island, which I guess is cold. So they're probably all like cold weather runners to an extent. Do you guys follow any like the Nike Oregon project, like the Salazar like doping allegation stuff? Has that been on your radar at all?
a little bit. Yep.
Seems, I don't know. It doesn't seem that bad. I guess like it's like nothing that they've done because they haven't been. No one's ever tested positive, like Galen Rupp or Jordan. And from what I understand, like it's not so much what they've taken. Like he was taking like testosterone, like cream or something, but whatever, I guess. And then Jordan, like they're giving her, I think, like L-carnitine, but which is not illegal. But I guess they're giving it to them as like an IV drip, and like so that delivery method's illegal technically. But I'm like is that why he won Chicago? Like probably not. He's probably just like a really good runner. Although I will say, like a friend of mine asked me, like, "Oh, are you like rooting for Galen Rupp?" And I was like, "Not really." He's like kind of, I think, like the least interesting runner I've ever. Like in interviews, he seems like so stupid and like so like. Whereas like Shalane and like Jordan and all the women runners, even like Meb, like they all like have personalities and they're really like they're just interesting people. But you watch that guy talk and he's just like, you're like maybe you should play football. Like he's like the dumbest sounding person whenever he speaks. I have like no interest in Galen Rupp. I feel like I don't know. I mean, it'd be fine if you won, I guess. But I'm kind of like, like I'd rather like some Kenyan wins and like changes their life versus like dumb old Galen Rupp.
Like, there's so many fast Kenyans and then Ethiopians this year too. I mean, we'll see.
I just want to point out Louis here. Little Louis.
Louis.
Hey, buddy.
I'm just rooting for Tim Don. That's who I'm rooting for.
Oh yeah. So I hadn't heard of him before that article in the Times. So he was like after
That was
ride
insane.
and got in an
Reading
accident.
that.
Yeah, he is the I believe he's the current world record holder at the official Ironman race distance. Like there's kind of some controversy around that because there's Ironman and then there's a couple other companies that hold the Ironman distance racing. So he has the current world record in a sanctioned Ironman event. And training for Kona, in Kona, he got hit by a car last year and broke
everything. Jesus.
He broke like a vertebrae or two and was in a halo for I don't know how long, but recovered really quickly. He's already on obviously he's trying to run Boston on Monday, but he's already prepping for Kona this year. And he's a really cool guy. He's super funny and just kind of laid back and really cool. So it'll be neat to see him run.
That's so insane. Like and I was in the bike store one day, like a few months ago, getting like a little bike fit done. Because I'm a serious cyclist, guys. Serious.
You are.
And this lady came in and she was all like messed up and like she had been hit by a car, like and like rode to the shop after being hit by a car. And she was like all like her arms all like crazy skidded up. She's on PCH, where like a lot of cyclists in LA ride. Like Sam, our friend Sam, will do that, and like she'll go up like 50 miles north and then come back. But it's a highway. Like you're on a highway. Like
right.
There's a shoulder that's sometimes like this wide and sometimes this wide, but it's a major highway that runs up the state. And this woman had been hit, and I was like, yeah, that's why I don't know. I feel like if I lived out like where you are, Ryan, it seems like you have a lot of good biking areas that are pretty like low traffic. Is that right?
Yeah, there's a couple paths that are really nice, but
yeah, I feel like that's like
still dangerous.
What was that?
It's still dangerous because you still have to do roads, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, but have you ever had any run-ins on the bike or like close calls?
I've a couple close calls for sure, but never anything like that terrified me.
Right.
Although my little brother's been hit, so
really.
Yeah.
Is he a big cyclist also?
He yeah. I mean, he tries. It's mostly he cycles out pretty much every day, but it's kind of to get in shape and stay in shape.
That's cool.
Yes.
And how about you, Frank? Any close calls on the bike out on the road?
Knock on wood, not really. There's some good roads around here, and like anywhere though, like you can go like half a mile one direction, and it's just like the worst road to cycle on. So you just kind of try to avoid it. Nothing too bad, but the drivers around here are usually pretty friendly and pretty understanding. Even like in some of like the hick areas, every once in a while you'll get a guy trying to like, I don't know, just some guy in a massive lifted pickup truck just try to like beep at you and yell stuff at you, but they don't really come too close, which I'm thankful for.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was like even some stories like recently, just, a couple guys got hit over the past couple of years. We have this really eccentric mailman named Mark Mailman, and he just like he's known for just like running around downtown, like just screaming and stuff, like being really friendly, but he just runs downtown and like delivers mail. But he got hit, and there was like a big GoFundMe to like for like his medical bills and stuff. And I think he's like still on the mend and stuff. But that was just on one of the routes that I'm normally by. This was maybe like a year ago now. So I mean, it still happens everywhere. You just kind of gotta.
So wait, your mailman runs to deliver mail?
Yeah, one of the mailmen that are like in my town. So yeah, everyone knows him because he like does like the downtown area near all the shops, and he's just like running and just like he's super, super high energy and just like and he'll like sing and like tell poems and stuff while he like runs in. He's like, all right, gotta go. And then he just like runs off.
How old is this guy?
Wow. I gotta say he's in his 50s.
Man, he sounds like Caballo Blanco from Born to Run.
Yeah. I wonder how old he is. I'll have to check that out.
That's crazy.
Cool dude.
So what else about Boston? I mean, like, do you guys have any, I don't know how closely like everyone follows like the elite fields or anything, but I was looking at letsrun.com and they had a poll, and it's like, which do you think an American woman will win the race? And like, it was kind of like half and half said yes, half said no. But most people actually, when polled, said that Molly Huddle was their opinion as the most likely American woman to win. because she recently, I think, set the American record in the half marathon.
Yep.
Maybe in New York, I think it was like what was it, like 67 minutes?
I think so. I know she crushed Jordan.
Right.
But to be fair, Molly's currently a half marathon specialist. So
right.
I mean, she's like the fastest miler, the fastest 5K-er, and the fastest half marathoner. So we'll see what the Folt's going to do. Jordan's pretty excited to race her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She knows how to perform when she needs to. Like, she just gets it done no matter what.
Yeah, I feel like with Molly, I don't have as much of a grasp because I've only seen her. The only thing I was kind of always like vaguely aware of her, and then I guess like she had that unfortunate thing happen at the Worlds, like in 2016 maybe, when when Emily Infield beat her, but like just barely because she celebrated like a foot early at the finish line, and then like Emily Infield ran past her, and won, and she was just like, oh, you just like saw it on her face, just like, I am so stupid. But yeah, I never really. Also, she wears Saucony shoes, and I don't wear Saucony, so I'm always like, Saucony athlete.
Still lose for sure.
I'm waiting for an ultra athlete because we all wear ultras too. That's our other bond besides Ragnar is we all wear ultras. So in your half marathon next week, Ryan, what ultra shoe are you going to wear?
Probably the Escalante.
Escalante, wow. For a half even, would you ever consider like the Vanish or like the 1.2.5?
I've run one in the 1.2.5, but I actually like the new Escalantes better. The Vanish, I don't know yet. I haven't run in it enough to know if I would do a race in it.
Right.
Probably.
Have you tried the Escalante the racer yet? The Boston one?
I have not.
It's pretty nice, gotta say.
I've heard that the Boston one is pretty cool.
Be nice.
I can't remember who was telling me about it.
Yeah.
Some guy.
I'm looking at it right now. I look at it for strength every day. I just stare at it so happily. So do you have that race in your half? Nathan, how are you feeling about your training so far?
I feel good so far.
Where are you at? We have 18 weeks to go from today.
Yeah. I mean, right now, I'm nothing super structured right now, but I feel like I've just been having fun coming off Ragnar, and then I feel like I'm just going to slowly start building those miles again. And so I'm really excited. So far, I'm feeling good. And yeah. Yeah,
you're pretty injury proof.
I feel like I have been. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if it's those ultras or what, but no, I try to walk in minimal shoes. I use Vivo barefoot usually during the day, and I'm always on my feet. I have a stand-up desk. I enjoy that. So I can't even think of a time I've been injured. I've had a lot of little niggles, random things here and there, but yeah, so far so good. So I'm excited. I'd love to do a half marathon coming up soon.
Yeah, we're talking about that.
We can do another one soon together. We'll be running all our races together this year. So.
That's right. In matching outfits, holding hands.
That's right. Yep. Tracksmith outfits.
Yeah.
Blue and gold.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We're talking, Nate and I were talking on Friday about the possibility of doing the Santa Barbara half marathon, which is 10 weeks from yesterday, as like a tune-up race, which I think it seems like, I don't feel like I've really like trained yet. I have like a base.
Yeah.
Our free meeting will end in 10 minutes. Please upgrade to a paid account. Okay.
Nice.
All right. Well, that's weird. I've never had that message before. I think because we scheduled it. If I just started a meeting, worst case scenario, we'll end it in 15 minutes, and then we'll reboot back up in a free meeting, perhaps. Yeah, I don't know. It's such a weird message I just got on my screen. So yeah, I feel like 10 weeks though is enough time to get like some training done for a half, right? I mean, do you guys have a feeling, because Ryan and Nate, you guys do kind of like Ryan and Frank, you guys, from your training, you guys do, it seems like a lot more, like, Lucho and Tawny are giving you more like some hard workouts, like, well above math, and then some math workouts as well. So do you have a sense like when math is more useful for you? Frank, you've been working with Lucho now for past few months, and do you feel like it seems like you do a lot of speed work now, huh?
Kind of, yeah. Like I'm looking at some of my old like training like over here now, and it's just even this past week on the run, there were like 3 different runs where I had some semblance of like tempo efforts in there. Um, Not sure why at the moment, but yeah, but it's definitely like math is kind of just like a tool, but there hasn't been any segment where I've done strict math. And I will say I'm not like training for Ironman, let's say, or if I were doing something even
Right.
with, I don't know what he would do for a marathon. There might be like a segment where there's a lot of math, but Lucho, from what it like, everything I've gathered so far is that you don't necessarily want to, and I guess to put everything in context, kind of like Nathan, I'm pretty resilient. Haven't really like the one injury I had is right when I met you is I
Right.
slipped on the black ice.
Yeah.
And for my first Ragnar, my first run back was running in Ragnar, which was just a massive shock, but
Yeah.
it worked, I guess. But like, there's always like some semblance of like whether there be strides or something else in there so that you don't necessarily neglect a certain aspect. I guess. I'm not sure. So I don't know, because right now that for mostly this year, I'm training for Olympic distance stuff,
Right.
where the run's going to be 10K. But
Right.
even with like my half marathon buildup, there was never, which I did back in March, there was never a time where we just did math. There was there was some threshold stuff in there, some tempo stuff in there, and some of it I was like looking at the workouts and I'm like, oh, I am scared for this one, but it still kind of worked out pretty well. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I guess like the stride thing is something that Lucho's actually mentioned to me before, like the importance of like doing strides. Because for me, he recommended like just doing like having this marathon focus that I have, for better or worse. You know, I think he's like, well, you know, like for you, just do math pretty much for now, but like don't neglect, or like until your tests stop improving. Also don't neglect the like just doing strides like once a week, even like starting with like 6 strides, which is really good advice. I feel like I've probably like just done maybe too much math, maybe because even that guy Flores, that I don't know if you guys are aware of him, he's this like guy around SoCal. I think Nate's run into him a couple times on the trails, maybe.
It's pretty local now, yeah.
Yeah, and but he had like great success using math. Like he got down to
good. It's insane.
Like 6:30 pace, I want to say, at math. But even him, he was still doing like I think fast finishes on his long runs and that kind of thing. So yeah, I feel like it might be, you know, like helpful at some point to like in a year, if I can like put together a solid like training block this time around, like get like Lucho or Tani to, you know, coach me again to kind of say, all right, like let's now that you're like somewhat more resilient, you know, let's actually put some plan in place. How about you, Ryan? Do you feel like you've done a lot of speed stuff? You seem to do a lot of like bike hard efforts, but even today you're doing race pace and all that. Like, how do you handle speed work?
Yeah, when I first started with Tani, it was pretty much all math. It was the usual story, the slow, like boringly slow pace. So I've definitely earned my speed work. It's been a long time coming, but I would say if I do, I'm looking at it right now, like 4 runs in a week, most of it is at math, and then there'll be probably one that's a hard effort, and then one that's a long run with a mix of math and hard efforts, like kind of tempo paces, which is, you know, just race pace stuff. But I earned it. So, and then biking is different. So biking's completely different. It's not typically, for me at least, it's not math based because I just don't have the time to do the long bike rides. I need to work on power mostly.
Right. And is that because you're doing shorter races, or because just like you just don't have time to like be spending like 8 hours?
Mostly time based. Yeah, it's mostly time based. And then one thing I've found, I don't know if Frank has found this, but I think we've discussed it a couple times, but my cardio is really good, but my wattage isn't. So it's really hard to push the watts necessary to get to a math heart rate on the bike.
So explain that. I don't quite understand the watts. I mean, watts are like how much power you're putting out. Like,
so watts is how much power you're actually putting to the pedal, and since it's not an impactful thing like running is. It's easier to keep your heart rate low when you're biking. So if to push your MAF heart rate, if you're super efficient at cardio, you gotta really push those pedals hard.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see.
Yeah. I don't have the leg strength to do that.
So
I have to work on my leg strength to catch up to my MAF, cardio.
I see.
It's a whole different ball game with the bike.
So with the bike, then, like, I mean, we've had this chat a couple times, like, when we've been talking, when I've asked you for advice about like, what would like an hour run equivalent be on the bike? Like, should I be doing more like, all right, say I have an hour allotment of time, should like say 10-minute warm up and like 10 times or 4 times 10, say at like 10 above MAF and then like a 5-minute cool down? Would that be like a better use of an hour versus like just straight MAF? So I can hit MAF on the bike pretty easily.
Right.
And so like usually I just like hang out at MAF and spend like an hour or 2 hours there, but is there a better way that I could be maybe utilizing the bike trainer?
Well, it all depends. I think, like I always tell you, it all depends on what your goals are. If your goals are simply to add in an extra workout that isn't, running, then you just do whatever feels good, MAF, not MAF, it's all good. But if you're looking to build power, then you want to do certain things like a lot of like super hard efforts, like almost Tabata style stuff.
Yeah, I love Tabatas.
Yeah, or you can do. A lot of times they'll do blocks, and the way you try to work it is to get roughly 20 minutes at your functional threshold power, your FTP, and they can do that in like 4 by 5 minutes or 3 by 10 or whatever, and they're just nasty.
Yeah.
Hey, I just got a message saying we have less than a minute. Let me call you guys back on a new chat. And it's going. So stay tuned, and we'll get this.